Hello, this is Jose Stevens from the Power Path, and today I'm going to explain how to read this PersonEssence chart that I use every day as a tool to help me understand myself, the people I counsel, advise, and work with, and also to metaphorically understand families, organizations, countries, and world events. This is a chart of the best personality mapping system I've ever found. And as a psychologist, I've studied and taught many of them. So what makes it so good is that it can be summarized on one sheet of paper, and yet it has millions of combinations and options to explain why people behave the way they do. All the traits on this chart are equal in value. In other words, there's no good ones and no bad ones. They're all equal and they all have something to teach. And at some point during our lifetimes, we will each have all of them. The purpose of this chart is to help you arrive at unconditional acceptance of yourself and all the people that you meet. The chart consists of horizontal rows, each of which represents a layer to the human personality. The majority of these roles has 7 options, each having a positive pole and a negative pole to operate from. The positive poles are healthy and lead to happiness and satisfaction, and negative poles are unhealthy and lead to negative outcomes that result in suffering. Most of the personality traits or we can call them overleaves also, are divided into categories. There are 3 pairs and 1 that stands alone. These are the large boxes that you see on the chart. Each pair is divided into a narrow-focused one and a wide-focused one. And the single neutral one can be either wide-focused or narrow-focused. The 3 pairs are grouped into 3 axes: expression, inspiration, and action, while the single one is under the 4th axis, assimilation. These 4 axes represent 4 movements of energy. Expression is radiant, outward in all directions. Inspiration lifts upward. Action moves forward, and assimilation moves inward, absorbing. All the traits grouped under each of these axes have this particular movement in common. The top horizontal row covers the 7 archetypal roles, the ones we master over many lifetimes. This is our primary beingness on an essence level: artisans, sages, servers and priests, warriors and kings, and scholars. These roles also describe a secondary role called casting, and that's an influence or a modifier to the first one. So the result is 49 possible combinations of the roles. The second row and all subsequent rows on the page are traits that describe the current personality in this lifetime only. These are the goals for the life, the primary motivator that leads us to our lessons. In other words, what we're here to learn in this life. The third row is the mode or the primary style, the way that we approach our goal. Remember that these are mix and match, so any mode can go with any goal and so on down the page, resulting in millions of combinations. The fourth row is the attitude or primary perspective, how we see things. The fifth row is the obstacle or dragon, sometimes called the chief feature. These are primary fear patterns that are actually parasites or viruses in the personality, similar to like a computer, to be cleared in order to be healthy. The next row includes all 7 centers that we operate from, the primary ways of reacting to our experience. We each have access to all of them, but we use them in a different order or sequence, and there are 6 main sequences. The next row are the needs, and there's 9 of them. These are what we need to be happy and satisfied in life. Each person has the 9 in a different order of importance to them. The top 3 are what really count because they're the strongest. The final row represents a person's orientation, how they perceive life around them, what their values are. And these are actual stages of maturity and sophistication and show where someone is on their long evolution to mastery. 5 are listed here, and 2 are not listed because they're very rare. And we could call them elder and master. Each of these is a stage, and each stage has 7 levels. Each level may take up to 10 lifetimes to complete. And there it is, all on one page, a masterful essence and personality chart describing everything you need to know to understand yourself and others, no matter who or what they are. This represents only a small part of a much larger transformational philosophy that you could choose to study through your life. Thank you so much for listening. For more information, see our website, thepowerpath.com, and look under PersonEssence.